What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Quick YouTube exclusive for you guys today. Recapping day 3 of Commanders Training Camp 2025. Didn't get a chance to recap day 2 because your boy was at new staff orientation. Your boy got a new job, but I'm not going to miss any more training camp days. And your boy will actually be boots on the ground for 3 practices starting next week. So this will be one of the last times that we gotta read the local beat reporter's point of view of things that went down in Ashburn, because you know us over here, Bleeding B&G, we like to give you the most raw, uncut, and unfiltered analysis on your Washington Commanders. So that's why you should go ahead and hit that subscribe button, turn your notifications on so you're not missing any of this content. And without further ado, man, let's get into today's doings for training camp day number 3, Commanders Training Camp 2025. So today was a little different than the last couple of days because the Commanders actually had to push their practice up 1 hour due to the high heat index and the heat advisory that's going down in the DMV right now. If you guys live in the DMV, you know it feels like fucking Hades outside right now. So they had to push their practice up. They practiced at 8 o'clock. So Dan Quinn had his practice presser at around 7:45 at the crack of fucking dawn. I was watching this with sleep in my eyes. So I was a little aloof and a little incoherent hearing Dan speak. So I needed to go back and see what he was talking about, see what he was chatting about in his pre-practice press conference. So without further ado, man, let's see what the Commanders were up to for day 3 of training camp. Dan Quinn says to expect a lot of red zone work on day 3 and trying to create opportunities for unscripted plays. That was something that he touched on a lot last season, and that was one of the reasons why I think the Commanders were one of the more prepared teams in the NFL last season. That was one of the biggest reasons why I put that feather in the cap for the coaching job that Dan Quinn did in his rookie season with the Commanders, or in his rookie coaching year, not his rookie coaching year, in his first year with the Commanders, because it seemed like the Commanders were prepared for many different scenarios. If you look at what they did on 4th downs, if you looked at how they operated their hurry-up offense, and I think a lot of having this scenario-specific based practice, like Dan Quinn talked about today and last season, was one of the reasons why we were one of the more prepared teams in the NFL last season. So I'm excited to hear that. Then John Kime gave a little bit more detail. He said Dan Quinn said they'll do a lot of red zone work in the final period. Said they'll focus a lot on completions in 11 on 11 by doing a second down and play it out session. Both sides then have to adjust to the situation. Does it become 3rd and 4, 3rd and 9? So improv, expecting the unexpected, because we know there's a plethora of unexpecteds that can happen over the course of the 4-month NFL season, the 18-week long NFL season. So they just prepare for it early. Dan Quinn said that Michael Gallup's length and ability to extend is what he's known for. It was good to see him make some plays yesterday. And when I was scouring the social medias yesterday when I was at work, I did see Michael Gallup's name flashed by a couple of beat reporters yesterday. And I was like, whoa, this is the first time that I've heard Michael Gallup's name since we signed him. And, more power to him. I haven't necessarily had high hopes for Michael Gallup because while he was talented in his time with the Cowboys early in his career, just ask Le'Veon Bell. Sitting out an entire football season in the NFL at the NFL level is tough to do. It's tough to do. And Michael Gallup, no matter how good of a player he wasn't prime Le'Veon Bell. And we saw he couldn't recover from sitting out an NFL season. So my prospects for Michael Gallup making the roster weren't necessarily ever too high, but to see him flash and make some plays is a positive sign to hear and a positive thing to hear, because Dan Quinn even mentioned it. He does have the length to be on that boundary, and we don't have too many guys like that. We got like Noah Brown, Michael Gallup's another one, and even a guy like undrafted free agent Jakari Brooks, who has broken out over the course of the first 2 days of training camp, broken out for as much as you can break out in training camp practices without pads on. But Jakari Brooks has made a name for himself as well. I'm not sure if they will talk about him today. Don't know if he did anything today, but he's somebody that has shined over the first 2 days of training camp. Wow. Dan Quinn said Josh Connelly had a more professional attitude than they noticed pre-draft. Also, what they heard about him from Oregon. So Dan Quinn said this about 5 hours ago, right? And Black Adam strikes again. Black Adam strikes again. Black Adam strikes again because 2 days ago, after day one of Commander's training camp, and just hearing his answers over the offseason, look at what your boy tweeted. Look at what your boy tweeted. Josh Connelly is really mature. All his answers are professional as a fuck. All his answers are professional as fuck. And it seems as if Dan Quinn agrees. It seems as if Dan Quinn agrees. And like every answer Josh Connelly has is super professional. And you can tell that, you know, the moment isn't too big for him and the lights aren't shining too bright for him, which is a positive sign to see from your rookie tackle. You'd rather see that than somebody acting as if, you know, being a deer in headlights, so to speak. Dan Quinn said there's no update on Terry McLaurin, but then there is one. But when there is one, he will be pumped to share it. So like I said, Dan Quinn did this at 7:30 in the morning. I had to sleep in my eyes. So when I was listening to this with my attention not all the way on the phone, it seemed as if Dan was a little more fed up than Dan ever has let on, right? Dan's super positive, right? So I don't want to even come across as he was being mean when he said this. Just a little irritated, a little agitated as Dan Quinn can come off, because we know he's a super people's person, but he's basically shutting down all the questions and letting them know, like, stop asking me about Terry McLaurin, y'all. And it was like my first sense of agitation with Dan Quinn where Terry McLaurin is concerned. And, you know, he said when Terry, if there is an update, he'll be pumped to share it. So that also tells me that the negotiations are still in a positive light, because if there's an update, why would he be pumped to share it? He's not going to be pumped to share a trade request if it was looking to go down that lines. So that was something that was positive to hear as well. Dan Quinn mentioned two of those secondary acquisitions that we bought in Will Harris and Jonathan Jones. Said both guys can really fly and both guys play fast and physical. Dan Quinn and any coach will say it's hard to tell about running backs until they get the pads on. But this is what he said that jumps out about Jakari Brooks. He said it's the violence of his cuts that he can get his shoulder square and get downhill so fast. The team actually released some video of Jakari Brooks yesterday, where they looked like it was in a goal line drill, and he went into the end zone untouched. And I've said it before. I said it a couple months ago. Said it 2 days ago, and I'm saying it now. Fantasy football owners, please draft Jakari Brooks. He will be taking over this backfield soon. He will be taking over this backfield soon. The most natural runner in the backfield right now, the youngest guy, and I think he arguably has the most juice at this point. Let's get to the on-field work. That's enough of the Dan Quinn presser. Let's get into the on-field work, and let's see what they're chatting about. See the offensive line at work, the big uglies. Shout out to the big uglies, the most important men on the football team, because they keep my quarterback protected. Sorry for the Ian Rappaport post. You know, I got to follow my national pundits too. QB's throwing on air. Give you a quick look at that. Who is that? Looks like Jayden right there throwing. Our guy Linnell Winningham. Von Miller just hit a nasty spin move on Andrew Wiley, who was that first team right tackle. Are you surprised? You know, it was reported that Josh Connelly was holding his own against Von Miller a couple of days ago. And I wasn't necessarily surprised. Like, Von Miller is still a 36-year-old guy. But he even told you in his press conference, his post-practice press conference yesterday, like, I rush the pass in my house shoes. Like, that's what I do. And he showed Andrew Wiley that's what he does there. And just iron sharpening iron. Not saying that Andrew Wiley's iron, but Von Miller is. And, you know, he's getting Andrew Wiley better in due time. We got the first interception of camp. Oh, the go-to boy threw a pick. We got the first interception of camp. Daniels was targeting Zach Ertz on the play. Quan Martin tipped it, and Mike Sanders still finished the play by running to the end zone. I told y'all on Twitter the other day, Quan Martin will make the Pro Bowl this year. People thought I was insane saying that. People thought I was talking out of my body. Quan Martin will make the Pro Bowl this year. Quan Martin will be a Pro Bowler. If you can gamble that on some offshore books, go ahead and play it. Go ahead and play it. But they got my man JD5 in the Matrix throwing his first interception of camp. But guess what? That is what training camp is for. I'd rather him throw it in July than October, than November, and damn sure in January and February. So the first pass of day one for Jayden was a complete dot on a touchdown to Deebo Samuel. The first pass of day three was an interception, pick six by Mikey Sarenstill. Boy, this life come at you fast. The NFL will humble you real fast, wasn't it? The NFL will humble you real fast. Tell me about it. That's why he make it. And we have another interception. Tyler Owens jumps a pass near the middle of the field. Mariota was the QB. So I know he was going against Marcus Mariota, so he might have been on the second team defense. But you got reports coming out of day one that Tyler Owens was the first safety out there with the ones, out lining up alongside opposite of Quan Martin. And this just goes with all the things that I said 3 or 4 months ago when I told y'all that the Commanders will be unleashing this demon, Tyler Owens, this season. There's a reason why we didn't go out and re-sign Jeremy Chin, and Tyler Owens is that reason. Dan Quinn loves his big safeties. Depth taxes and Dan Quinn having his big safety on his roster. And Tyler Owens is going to be the big safety on the roster for the 2025 Commanders. I'm telling you. I know it's July. I'm getting hype over some training camp reps. But y'all, if y'all been bleeding B&G, I ain't even got to be day one fans, because I said this about 2 months ago. If you've been following me for the last 60 days, you know I told you about Tyler Owens. And it seems like he might be making me look like a genius. Might be making me look rather prophetic. 3 plays and 2 picks by the D. Still catches a ball tipped by Martin. Daniels. Owens gets Mariota. The defense came to play today. They have a bunch of energy and are hyping each other up after every play. Really, really nice pass breakup by Tunsil against Dorrance Armstrong. Tried to spin out of the block, but Tunsil mirrored every move to perfection. Laramie Tunsil doing Laramie Tunsil things. Like I said, I think he got the best footwork in the NFL right now. Him or even Trey Williams, even though Trey is getting a little long in the tooth. And you can see that with Zach Selby's description of the rep. He mirrored every move from Dorrance Armstrong to perfection. That's Laramie Tunsil's pass blocking style. An area where Jalen Lane has to improve. Play strength. Mikey just blew him up on the screen to KJ Osborne. Rookie. He's a rookie. I've seen people talking about how Jalen Lane has exploded on the scene with his speed. He looks like the fastest person out there. But this show that he's not a complete product, and the NFL is still there's still an acclimation period in the NFL, and Jalen Lane's just going through the gauntlet of being a 4th-round rookie in the NFL. Sanford still has been all over the field, just blew up a pass by the line of scrimmage. What's up with Mikey, dog? What's up with Mikey? Mikey over there practicing like he see Ohio State Buckeyes on the other side of the field. Terry's not there, bro. Terry's not there. Calm down. Mikey out there like he practicing for Harbaugh right now. Sorry, no, I love it. I love it. Competition. Iron sharpening iron. DB's warming up. Lattimore first line and closest to Cam. Running smooth. Let's see. I love to hear that he's first up, though. Being the leader, being the vet in the room. Something that, I heard he was hesitant to do last season. And something that I've heard he hasn't necessarily been over the course of his career. He's never been that leader, that vocal guy. But y'all see the bleachers that they're getting ready for Sunday. JD5 picked off by Bobby Wagner in 7-on-7 on a pass over the middle intended for Zach Ertz. Damn, the defense really had my boy in the Matrix today, huh? It was Neo out that motherfucker today, huh? The defense was giving my boy 5 fits. You see, I'm saying it with a smile on my face because I'd much rather these interceptions happen on what? On July 25th than December 25th. I'd much rather these interceptions happen now. This is what training camp is for, to see what you can get away with. So all those YouTubers, I seen a former player chart training camp 7-on-7 session. Y'all are too far gone at this point. Stop following them. That's not real analysis. This pick for Daniel, defense during the 7, this one comes. I know Bobby was happy as hell he got Jayden too. He about to troll him like that until Jayden throw a touchdown on his head. He about to tell him that's for the IE. He about to tell him that's for the LA Empire. Next play, a nice pass breakup from Jonathan Jones on Jalen Lane. The vet getting the best of the rookie on that one. Nice recognition from Jakari Brooks, sitting down in the soft spot in the open zone. I told you Jakari Brooks has been making a name for himself, beating Marshawn Lattimore a couple of times the first day of camp. Had another touchdown yesterday. This is a guy that's 6'3", undrafted free agent. And when we signed Jakari Brooks after the draft, and I know this hindsight because I didn't really touch on it a lot, but I never really was, too concerned about Jakari Brooks producing on a practice squad level or being, our preseason darling. I think Jakari Brooks is going to be the favorite for the Marcus Mason Marco Mitchell Award. OG Redskin fans, y'all know what I'm talking about, of the preseason hero. But Jakari Brooks, I think, can contribute on the 53-man roster. If you watch Jakari Brooks during the time at the University of Alabama and Louisville, he has all the receiving nuances in the world. He just happened to test like a D3 tight end. Like his agility numbers, his speed numbers were not good at all. I'm not here to sugarcoat that by any means, but if you've seen him, this is a guy that knows how to play receiver. He was a 5-star going to Alabama. Like, he's not a scrub. He knows how to stack guys. He knows how to release and things of that nature. And his story kind of reminds me of a guy similar to a guy that used to play in Washington a couple years ago in Cam Sims, who came into Alabama as a 5-star, didn't necessarily live up to the hype at Alabama, but still was able to contribute on the NFL level. Catch of the camp so far, KJ Osborne with a nice concentration drop with Percy Butler over. Big money Percy. Percy signed that extension yesterday, still getting cooked. So now let me not even serve that up. That's low-hanging fruit for fans. I don't know. I really don't get the Percy Butler hate by fans. Y'all are weird with that one. I'm going to say it. Man, y'all know, y'all come to me for the most raw, uncut, and unfiltered analysis. Hating Percy Butler, but loving Jeremy Reeves is weird as fuck. And it's a lot of y'all in the fan base like that. Hating Percy Butler, but loving Jeremy Reeves is weird as shit. Because I'm telling you right now, Percy Butler is better on special teams than Jeremy Reeves. Watch the film if you think I'm lying. Watch the film if you think I'm lying. Nice play by newcomer Tate Martin. That was the guy that they signed 2 days ago. The Golden Boy back at it. Laramie Tunsil, large human that can move. Chris Paul getting some bump with the ones. Great coverage from Mikey on Debo. Slap fade, made JD5 make the perfect throw. He couldn't. Mikey Samerstill was having a fucking out-of-body experience today, huh? Keep practicing at 8 a.m. for Mikey Samerstill's sake. Marshawn Lattimore continues to impress. Nice people. God damn. The cornerbacks, bro. What did I tell you? One of the reasons why we're going to win the Super Bowl this year. The vast improvement in the quarterback room. We went from Mikey Samerstill. We went from Benjamin St. Juste and fucking Emmanuel Forbes to Mikey Samerstill and Marshawn Lattimore. And then look what comes on the screen next. Our second-round rookie, Trey Amos, with an interception of the Golden Boy. God damn. Defense, what the fuck was y'all on today? What was y'all on today? But I love to hear it, especially coming from my second-round rookie making a play on the best quarterback in the NFL. Jayden was in the fucking Matrix today. I know I said I want to see interceptions in July and December. I don't know if I want to see 3 interceptions, bro. I don't know if I want to see 3 interceptions. Jayden, Trey Amos with a pick off Jayden. I love to hear that, though. I was watching some Trey Amos film just the other day. He's a genius. He understands route concepts like no other. If I ever get a chance to interview Trey Amos, I got to ask him, has he ever played receiver? Because he understands route concepts amazingly. Ben Sinnott, touchdown on the goal line. Nice blitz pick up from C-Rod. Our other second-round pick from last year making a play. Cool thing to see in year 2. Dom Hampton and Jordan McGee making calls at the line of scrimmage. Both guys that are going into second years at linebacker. And it's curious to see that both of them are required to make calls at the line of scrimmage. It kind of ties it to the fact I've heard some people say that we're going to play a lot of 5-man fronts, maybe some even 3-4. So I don't know if both of those guys were on the field at the same time making those calls. I'm not sure what it was, but it's something that I'll be sure to look out for when I'm boots on the ground on Saturday. Great catch on the slant from McCarthy with Amos draped all over. Luke! I see you, Luke. He get it from his daddy. He get it from his daddy. Sam Cosmi, still looking healthy, freak athlete, looking like he didn't damn near tear his leg off the bone 6 months ago, walking with no hitch. And I think that'll do it. They start talking about some of the things that'll be available at training camp on Sunday, the first training camp practice. Fans are allowed to attend back together football. Your boy will be boots on the ground. Let me check the rest of the timeline and see if there was anything that I missed. JP Finley was just late as shit on his updates. Zach Ertz didn't say too much in his press conference. I don't think anybody quoted Duron Payne, but we know he's not. Damn, Jayden Daniels. Jayden got a kid, bro. Jayden Daniels hanging with Mikey Sanderson's daughter post practice, pretty cute. Oh, that's Mikey Sanderson's jit. Cute, adorable. Jayden had to go back on his wholesome bag after Mikey got the best of him today. I'm just playing. Mikey said, "Hey, hold my light work real quick. It's like, nah, that's so adorable to see. Two cornerstone foundational pieces of the franchise. Love to see how they get along. And yeah, it seems like that's it for everything. Day 3 of Commanders training camp. Your boy will be boots on the ground for day 4, because they're not practicing tomorrow. Your boy will be boots on the ground for day 4 Commanders training camp 2025, live from Ashburn. Boots on the ground. So you know we giving you the most raw, uncut, and unfiltered analysis on your Washington Commanders. Make sure you tap into the page, hit that subscribe button, and I'll check in on y'all on the flip side. Peace.